The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. Yeah!
So I'm joined today by Justine Ray, Director of Customer Marketing and Community over at Skimmer, and Nikki Acosta, Director of Marketing. How are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having us on, David.
Yes, super pumped. It's launch day, so we're really excited to be able to come on here and talk about community. So thanks for having us.
Yes, so we're here to talk about Skimmer's the pool deck. I think I got that right. And it's a community that you're developing. The name is actually really great for the pool industry, by the way. And so you want to share a little bit about, let's just jump right in and, why is it the background of you making this and what was the whole thought behind the pool deck?
Yeah, sounds good. I'll jump in, and then Nikki, if I forget anything, feel free to add. But from the beginning, I mean, it's really baked into Skimmer's DNA. Their mission has always been about helping pool pros build great businesses. And from the very, beginning to continuing, monthly basis, we're continuing to invest in our software. We also have our amazing customer support heroes, our customer success team. So Skimmer's always been focused on, how do you make people, super users build their skills in the product. But in the process and talking to customers and listening and learning, we've also learned that customers are looking for help in other areas. Being an entrepreneur, whether, you're learning the pool service business or other parts of running your organization, you can feel like you're on an island on your own. So we really saw an opportunity here to extend our platform into another space and bringing together that power of connecting our Skimmer users. And that's really where the magic happens in terms of knowledge sharing, networking, education, training, all that speed to information in one spot. And it really gave us, this new opportunity to expand on that mission of how do we continue to help our customers build great businesses.
And I know we're going to address that a little bit later, but before people tune out, this is not just for Skimmer users.
Absolutely. And that's what thank you for bringing that up. It is all about the pool service professionals as well. And we're going to get into a little bit about how the community works in terms of structure, but it really is designed for the industry overall.
Okay. And then why did you name it the pool deck? What was the thought behind that? I kind of know already, but go ahead and just touch on that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's really important about creating, even though it's a virtual space, you can connect to like this, everyone relates to what the pool deck is, and creating this familiar ritual where hopefully everyone knows that feeling of swinging by your friend's backyard, or you pull up at your favorite local and there's a patio filled with your friends. There's faces you know, faces you don't know. You pull up a chair, your shoulders drop, you just join the conversation, and you're in a trusted space where you can share your wins, talk about problems, get sound advice. So it was really trying to create that sense of a destination where, we, as everyone knows, you do your business of servicing the pools, but now it's also flipping that space over to an area where you can pull up a chair with your peers and talk about all aspects of the business.
And Skimmer has a history of doing things that are not just specific for Skimmer customers, like, for instance, the State of the Industry report, the webinars that you send out in the emails, and they're open to everyone, even non-Skimmer non-Skimmer customers. And this is also, we mentioned just a few minutes ago about it not just being for Skimmer customers. So what's the thought behind having it open for all pool pros?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So, part of building a community and having that trusted space means that there are going to be people that are potentially outside of the space that can bring value as well. So in our community, we have folks like yourself posting videos and content. We've got people who are accounting experts. We've got CPO instructors. We've got other kinds of training instructors that are coming in. So really, we want to make this a place where it's not only pool service professionals, but also the adjacent industries around this space that support pool pros as they grow their businesses.
Yeah, and I think the pool pro, we're pretty busy doing so many things, and we'd like to see value in the time we invest in certain things. So talk about the pool deck, and where's the value of pool pros joining the pool deck?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, everyone's got a busy, chaotic schedule. So I really like to think of the pool deck as a poolside buffet. You can come, you can pick whatever you're hungry for in the moment. It's really about using the search functionality and speed to solution and answer. So, you can get in there, find what's available on a topic you're already looking for. If it's not there, you just post a new question and watch the replies roll in. And it really is about that one-stop aggregator. Nikki was just talking about, some of the different areas and contributors we have, but it's really about, having the space where, if you want to find out industry news, stay on top of the trends, what professional trainings coming up. And of course, there's an area where we're going to help bring together Skimmer users and talk about the Skimmer knowledge pool and think of it as the ultimate Skimmerpedia in terms of how to do things in Skimmer, as well as that area about helping grow your business. So you go back to Skimmer's original mission. It's, how do we help, people in this industry become more successful? And so that's areas, marketing, HR, all of these other areas where some of the areas you might be really strong and some you might need some help. And then we also have the events. As Nikki was mentioning, this is for everybody. We offer a lot of general events. Nikki's actually in a webinar tomorrow that's open to anybody. You can go into the community right now and register for it. And then we also have some pop-up events just for our Skimmer customers. So we've got a workshop happening on employee summer safety coming up in early June with Lauren Broom. So a lot of different areas to jump in and get whatever you want. And if you have more time, you can stay and explore. And hopefully, if you have time, you can also share your expertise, because it's really about making a generative network over time.
Yeah, so how do members connect with each other? Now, one thing that we should preface is different than like a Facebook group where someone can go and click on your profile and then they can find out like personal information. I think a lot of pros are hesitant to join groups because they want to keep their business and personal separate. So how do members connect on Pool Deck to make that work?
Yeah, so when you come in, you can build out a profile. I think there is an element of creating a trusted space. So, knowing a little bit about each other. You can follow other members. So if you're starting, obviously, I think, David, you're in there. I think people are going to want to follow you and know when you're when you post something, so they'll get notified. You can also message other members in the community. We're going to have some workshops and social. So those are about smaller events where you're going to turn on your camera just like this, get to see each other's faces and start to build those connections. And then we also have a Life on the Road forum, which is specifically designed for a bit more fun and play and social. So again, you get to know people behind, all the other sort of more professional questions that they're asking.
And I'll add to that too. One of the really great things is if you are a Skimmer customer, you're going to have access to forums that non-Skimmer customers don't have access to. So we've got a forum for buying and selling routes. And not only can we help provide a place where people can trade routes or buy or sell routes, but then we also have Skimmer resources to help transfer those accounts, maybe from one Skimmer account to another account, and really help those pros get onboarded and enabled as quickly as possible.
So there's built-in support for the Skimmer users. Let's say you have a question about the app, you can go in there and you can find help.
Yes,
correct.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the nice thing is it's really about knowledge sharing. So how are we getting other Skimmer users to help other Skimmer users? And then we obviously have our own internal team, who will just make sure that if questions aren't getting answered or if there's a way to sort of build on to a certain answer, they'll be, triaging that and jumping in on some of the threads as well. And then there's also group. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, no, go ahead, continue. I was
going to say the other area was groups as well. And I think that's the other cool part, because that's, the one thing, being a little bit newer to this industry that I'm learning is there's certain topics that you want to talk about that are more regional specific. So those are the more micro groups within the larger community platform as well, in terms of getting to know people in your more immediate community, which I think is really important as well.
Yeah, I think it's really important to recognize that pool service in Texas is a lot different than pool service in Florida, in California. And I think having specific groups is a perfect way to kind of understand the industry. We're kind of split, and we're actually split East and West Coast a lot too. We don't close our pools here. Yeah. If someone asks me a question about closing a pool, I've never closed a pool, but I know how it's done. And then someone back East can be an expert on it. So I think that's really a key point of the Pool Deck. And then talk about the industry experts you're bringing into the platform. I think that's a key to making it different than, say, a Facebook group led by one administrator. And this is a little bit different because you're bringing experts in the field into the platform.
Yeah, so we've got a myriad of folks already in the community. One that comes to mind is Lauren Broom, a CPO instructor. She's going to be leading some of the workshops for Skimmer customers. I think the first one is on pool safety. So that's a really great topic and a timely topic for this time of year. We also have a woman by the name of Sharon Burrich, who is a QuickBooks expert. So Skimmer integrates with QuickBooks, and a lot of pros have questions about how to properly set up QuickBooks for purposes of tax reporting and inventory and making sure that they can calculate profit margins. And so she is a really, really great resource on that. There's folks like you that have joined the community, and then we're always looking for other folks to join the community as well. So we've got, people who are coming in that are marketing experts that can really help pool pros dial in their marketing spend and do digital advertising and answer any question under the sun when it comes to digital advertising. And we're identifying new folks like people who do, for example, pool water osmosis, that do water recycling, which I know isn't a thing that's ubiquitous across the country, but in places like Southern California and Arizona is kind of a big deal. So we love having those experts in. We're going to keep on inviting them in, and we hope to build out the functionality. So if a pool pro needs leak detection in their region, that they have experts that are in those forums and can provide that type of assistance.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's a key difference than a lot of the other groups that are formed out there just kind of loosely on the internet. This is more of a very thoughtful, put together platform. And that's one reason why I'm excited to be part of it, because of the fact that it is one of those things where there's a lot of thought behind it. And it's not just someone coming up with a clever name and making a Facebook group. There's actually a plan behind this to help those in the industry and support them, and to bring experts along in that also in that equation.
Yeah, and having a curated environment helps. Like social media, I manage our social media at Skimmer, and it can be a kind of a mean place at times. I've noticed that a lot of the pool specific forums have a lot of homeowners in them. Which, those kinds of opinions kind of run contrary when you've got pool pros and homeowners talking about topics. So this is meant to be a curated space just for pool service and repair technicians and business owners. And then again, the people that kind of surround the industry to help those pros be more successful.
Yeah, great. And I think you had a few questions for me about why I considered joining the community.
Yeah, I think that was, first of all, when I joined Skimmer, I was asking Nikki, who I should be connecting with and bringing into the community. Your name was obviously at the top of the list. So I was sort of curious, and you sort of alluded to it a minute ago, but why did you jump in so quickly and say yes to being a part of this? I didn't even have a chance to even show you what it looked like, and you were already willing to jump in with 2 feet.
Because I think the concept is something that is necessary in the industry, because you mentioned about separating homeowners from pool pros. That's a key. But the other key is to have a safe place for the pool pros to kind of, if you're a new pro and you ask a question on one of the Facebook groups, and I've seen this happen, like, how do you move the on-off trippers on a timer? Like, how do you set that? They'll just bully you, and they'll be like, you have no business being a pro if you don't even know how to use an automatic timer. On-off trippers, you should know this already. Things like that. I think that it creates an unsafe environment. And it discourages pool pros from asking those questions that they may be hesitant to ask, because not everyone has the same level of knowledge. And I think by having an insulated, safe environment, it's going to grow the community to a point where it's going to be conductive. And I really feel part of my mission on YouTube is to simplify things, and there are no dumb questions. The only one that's dumb is not asking the question. And I think a safe forum, I think the concept just attracted me right away. I just like the whole idea behind everything, and bringing in experts from other areas also to help the pool pros. I think and also that you are letting people from outside of Skimmer in, which I think is something that a lot of companies would not do. It's just one of those things where, you're protecting your asset, which is your app, where you have people with the routing software, but at the same time, you're letting people in that need the knowledge. So all those together attracted me to the platform.
That's so nice, dear. I think that's the beauty of it as well, is I think it's like if we can all level up together. And I really do feel like creating that safe, trusted space is something we're really going to work hard to protect. Because again, everyone has areas for growth personally and professionally. And I think that's really important in terms of the spirit and the community vibe that we want to foster when people join.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that you've already been contributing some content. I especially love the using chlorine enhancers to save money on your pool route. I mean, what a great topic. Looking through that, you did a video post and posted your YouTube video and talked about several different products. And I saw the engagement that came as a result of that. And that's exactly what we're going for. That there's folks in there mentioning Arenda. There's folks in there that are, mentioning phosphates. You chimed in, letting people know that other sources like fertilizer and nitrates are less common, and phosphates are the most common food source in pools. Like that kind of knowledge is exactly what we're going for. And we're super honored to have you as part of the community to serve as such a trusted resource, David.
Yeah, I consider myself a pool industry agnostic, which means that I don't really, I'm not getting paid by certain groups to promote a certain product. And I think it's important to have that kind of, explanation, because people sometimes will be like, you're promoting PoolRx, they're definitely paying you, but it's not the case. It's the product actually works. And I mention it because I know the product works. It's EPA certified, it's NSF 50 approved, and it's something that pros have been using since, I think they're 20 years old now. For 20 years, they've been using the product. And then the borates, people don't like talking about it too much because suppliers don't really like borates for a number of reasons. But the main reason is that you're not going to buy as many chemicals if you put borates in the pool. So me being kind of an agnostic out there, I can talk about everything and not really step on anyone's toes, because I'm just sharing the facts of the products, and you can make a decision of what you want to use. And so this platform, the Pool Deck, gives, I think, an opportunity for people to kind of get information from sources that may not be backed entirely by the actual manufacturer of the product. I'm sure you're going to have people in the forum in specific companies. I'm sure Fred Schweer from PoolRx will probably join. If he's not in there yet. So you'll have some bias, but you'll have some balance too, I think, at the same time. So I think it's a great place for both to meet the industry insiders and pool pros that just have their own opinions.
Yeah. And the part that I love. Oh, go ahead, Nikki.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I know. Go ahead.
But I think that's the beauty of it as well. Is it's that two-way engagement. So it's you're putting all this information in there, and again, people knowing who you are, your reputation, and being able to engage with you in the platform and having all of these two-way conversations. Because sometimes that's the beauty of watching the thread evolve, and the information and the knowledge and all the questions. And if one person has the question, I'm sure they're not the only person that has the question. So I think that's the part that I'm really appreciative of, David, is just the time that you're willing to put in here, as well as members of the Pool Deck have questions back on what you're posting, is making sure that you're expanding the knowledge that you're sharing.
Yeah, we're not going to be experts on phosphates and borates, but we're happy that you're here to be that expert. The value I think that Skimmer is going to provide in this is really helping around kind of the business knowledge and business acumen, giving people tools and resources and training and access to experts who can really help them thrive. And that's what we've been hard at work building. And so we're happy to have you on board as a trusted expert, David. It's great to have you as part of this community and already seeing the engagement happen.
Yeah, I'm glad to be part of it. I think we should also, I know we talked a little bit about the difference between, one second. I don't know who that was. Someone just drove by on a motorcycle. We talked about how the Pool Deck's a little bit different than other groups. We can expand a little bit on that and just touch on it. Like, let's say a pool pro is thinking about joining Pool Deck, but he's a little bit hesitant because he was on Facebook and he kind of felt like it wasn't the right environment. Or he maybe was on another forum, and maybe the pool pro joined Trouble Free Pools, which is a homeowner forum, and they kind of enchanted him on forums and groups. So let's just talk about a pool pro that's maybe hesitant to join Pool Deck, and you're giving your elevator pitch. Why would he want to join?
Yeah, I look at this as being, again, a one-stop hub, a trusted space. So it's very well moderated. It is professional. It is only for people who are working in the industry itself. And it really is about having a number of different options at your fingertips. So it's about speed to knowledge and what you need in that moment. And it's really about feeling that you want to be part of something where you're going to give as well as receive. And it really is that generative. So over time, you're always going to get more value out than you put in.
Yeah, the other thing I'll say too is, not every single pool pro is going to subscribe or have an interest in every single article that comes out in Pool Pro or Aqua or Pool Magazine or any of these publications, or every single podcast that comes out from the various podcasters in our industry. So being able to come in and find things that are of interest and learn and discover things that are relevant to the pool service professional is really what we're intending to do. You know, whether it's, you know, news or articles or, you know, stats or, you know, business tips, like whatever you're kind of looking for, this is meant to be a one-stop shop where you can kind of dive in, no pun intended, into what is of interest to you. And that goes for the forums and the different groups within the platform as well.
Yeah, I guess we can close with the feedback since launching it, because I know you've had some beta testing and now it's launched. And maybe I know the people that are watching this on YouTube can see the screen share that Justine's going to do.
Yes.
But those that are on the podcast can't. So she'll try to be as descriptive as possible with the image she's pulling up here. But I think it would be good to get some feedback as to some of the feedback you've gotten so far already on this particular platform.
All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. So yeah. So this is really the home page. And the first feedback we get from everyone, it's really well organized and structured. It's super professional. And again, it's about easy speed to knowledge. So as I was saying here, like, you know, you just search in here. And if you're trying to find something like here, chlorine, like first and foremost, that's where your post comes up. So you get to see what's already in the community. And then from there, we have, you know, a little bit of information on how to get started, because it really is about optimizing your time here. We know that you're busy, so how can you jump in and get going? You also can create a mobile app shortcut. It is a responsive site, so if you want to use it on your phone while you're on the go, recommend jumping in here. We always promote what's coming up. As I was mentioning earlier, we have Nikki on our webinar tomorrow. We do
actually the webinar is June 5th. Sorry. Different Wednesday.
Oh, different Wednesday. It is. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm already jumping ahead. Our webinar on June 5th. Thanks for catching that, Nikki. And then we have our other June workshop training. And then David, here's your post here. And then we'll just sort of use this as a good example in terms of being able to, you know, jump right into your video, watch it in the community. But then we are also having, you know, exchanges go back and forth, and you know, we're kind and responsive and you know, jumped back in here and we're engaging with our members. So it's about that ongoing value that keeps happening in all of these discussions. And I'll show you a couple of other quick things before we wrap here. This was the community forum. So this goes back to everyone sort of realizing that, you know, it goes back to that one-stop hub, everything that they need here in terms of helping them elevate their game as a pool professional in various aspects of the business. So you can jump into any of these forums. Now, right now, you're looking at a view in terms of a Skimmer customer. So you're seeing certain forums like the buying and selling routes, the Skimmer knowledge pool. Those are exclusive to the Skimmer customer, but there are a number of forums: news, trends, and training, life on the road, ideas and inspiration for business owners. Anyone who comes to the community can jump into any of those forums and participate. You do have to create an account. I just want to be clear if you want to respond or comment or create a post. But you can also come in and passively consume any of the content in those forums without creating an account. So yeah, it's really encouraging in terms of early feedback out of the gate, and just really super excited as we continue to get more members in here now that we've gone live, and starting to see that flywheel effect as we get more content and more members contributing.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. It's a typical Skimmer platform, and I think the pool pros will agree with me when I say that when you're comparing apps, Skimmer is more like an Apple app when you're looking at the actual Skimmer program, and then the other pool software apps are more like an Android type platform. And this is a reflection of it. Looking at the screen here, viewers can't see it that are on, our listeners can't see it on the podcast, but it is a very much looks like a nice Apple app that's kind of out there on your phone or on your desktop. So I really think a lot of thought was put into designing it. And I think as far as the overall ease of use, it's something that someone could just jump right into and start using, because people are pretty familiar with how to use things like this. I think in most cases, I think this generation of pool pros are super tech savvy.
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
Clean and intuitive is what we were going for, David.
Yeah.
So thank you for that acknowledgement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Exactly.
from the generation that we had pagers. I don't know, I can't. I'm dating myself, but you would get a page and there'd be a little number across, and then sometimes you would put a code in that way you don't have to call back the person, so they'll know. Oh, this means yes or whatever. So I was low tech compared to this stuff.
Yeah, well,
Right.
you did an amazing job keeping up. And I was just showing here quickly how you can hover on someone's avatar
Mhm.
and get information about who they are.
Okay.
And that sort of goes back to sort of seeing who's in the community. So I think there's just lots to explore. So hopefully this visual, and I know people who are listening can't see it, but hopefully we've piqued your curiosity to get in here and take a tour.
And
Yeah.
if you want to get there, head over to thepooldeck.getskimmer.com.
Correct.
Okay. Say that one more time.
Thepooldeck.getskimmer.com.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely have that in the quick link for that in the podcast and in the YouTube video version of it.
Yes. And it's also been added to our home website as well, just in the upper Mega nav as
Okay.
well. So yeah. So lots of places to find us. And yeah, lots more information and goodness to come. So we appreciate giving us a chance to talk about it today.
And we're always taking ideas too. If you have an idea for a group or a forum and it's not there, you can email. The email address is inside of the portal, but it's community@getskimmer.com. And Justine will be happy to work with you to get forums created.
Yeah, sounds great.
This is everyone's community, so we encourage that feedback and participation.
Yeah, I can see like some expansions real quick before we end. Like you can have a financial planner, you can have maybe a tax professional giving general advice. And I know they have some legal limits. You can have maybe an insurance person giving advice on proper insurance. So the sky's the limit really with a platform like this that's servicing pool pros that have all these needs that aren't being addressed in other forums in a certain way. And of course, you can listen to a podcast, but you can't from that podcast talk directly to a CPA or to a financial planner. But in a platform like this, you can contact them. And it's much smoother than LinkedIn because LinkedIn is like the whole world basically in every industry on there. So this is a great specific way to service the pool pros out there. And I really appreciate you creating it and inviting me into the platform.
Well, we look forward to you being an ongoing contributing member. We look forward to your next post. And yeah, we look forward to all of your listeners and followers joining and becoming a part of this space.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a really vibrant and transformative space and really help people, achieve new goals in their business.
Yeah, well, thank you for your time and for explaining the pool deck. And I hope that generates a lot of interest out there for the pool pros. So thank you.
Thank you, David.
Pool Service Pro. Open a Leslie's wholesale account today and receive wholesale pricing on products you use every day. Leslie's Pool Supply offers convenient locations that are open 7 days a week. Another great benefit of opening a Leslie's wholesale account is Leslie's referral program. Get referred to a customer looking for weekly pool service. Save time and money and grow your pool service route and become a Leslie's Pro.